So in that particular meeting or recording, Alicia talked about the prodigal son and how, basically that kind of lets you know how God looks at us when we've fallen away and he's always there with open arms. But what I learned was that actual story, it ties into an actual I don't really want to call it a ritual or something that was practiced back then when someone went wayward. We'll say a son went wayward, and it was called the Kezazah ceremony. So I want to read that ceremony and what it means and what happens because I think it'll bring more light to the prodigal son story and honestly help us um just see it in another light and just be even more grateful for God's grace. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna read what it says. So let's see. So back then, it says when a Jewish son lost his inheritance to Gentiles, there was a tradition. The village had the right to meet that son at the edge of the town, break a pot in front of him, declare him cut off from his people completely, shunned, cast out. That was like the end. And so the particular village where the prodigal son was from, they knew what the son had done. Um, and they knew that the son would have known what was waiting for him coming back to the village. And that's probably in a roundabout way why he had rehearsed all these things he was going to say when he got back. But what happened was
Yeah.
the father ran to reach his son. Actually, he didn't just like run to like greet him as we know we read in the scriptures, but he actually ran to meet him before the village could get to him. He threw his arms around him in front of everyone before anyone else could touch him. The dad put down his robe on him, or put his own robe on him, his ring and his sandals. Each one is a specific public declaration that everybody watching would understand immediately. So it was like the robe that he put on him basically was a covering of his shamefulness, and the ring was like a ring of authority, and it basically restored him to a full sonship in front of all of the witnesses or in front of all of the village who would otherwise be shunning him. And
Mm.
so basically it's saying that the dad was not just welcoming him home. He was basically covering, taking on his shame that his actual son deserved. Um
That's
And
good.
so, like, when read that, I was like, wow, like, so it's more than just, I mean, I guess God, of course, welcoming you back or always being there, arms always open is a great thing. We know that. But when you also compare that to the ceremony that would happen, in the natural, it just drives it home even more for me.